This is Jeff. Can I help you?
Yeah, Jeff, Seth Ellington with Big O Refuse, returning your phone call.
Yeah, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Good. What can I help you with today?
Well, basically, just I know that you guys got the contract for Bowling Green Township.
Uh-huh.
Wanted to know if you could tell me the details on that the residents here can know.
Well, the residents will be receiving an informational flyer from our company probably in the next 3 weeks, but it's a franchise agreement that allows us to pick up all of the stops in the township and try to reduce everybody's rate a little bit. There's a different pricing structure. It's a little bit cheaper. I think it's probably $15-20 cheaper a quarter, and there's going to be an option to have one of our 96-gallon barrels, and it's just pretty much going to be the same as it is now. It's just going to be all collected on one day.
Well, it won't be the same because we don't get to pick who we use.
Well, that's unfortunately that's something you'd have to talk with your township trustee about, Jeff. Unfortunately, we just submitted a bid in regards to what was requested of us from the township administrators, and we just so happened to be the only person that showed up at the bid hearing. Nobody else, no other company even wanted to entertain the fact that I guess would have a feeling wanted to go out that far for the entire township.
Well, I've talked with the other carriers. They don't really describe it that way, but that's okay. Can you tell me, since the public hasn't been privy to any of the details,
Sure.
when this starts and everything for sure? Because I was hearing it was August 1st. Is that right?
That's correct.
Is that all you can tell me?
Oh, no. Sure, I can tell you anything. Well, what would you like to know? I can give you anything you want to know. I can fax you the documents, whatever you need to know, Jeff. Have your township trustees not been able to share this information with you?
Well, the best that we can do as a resident is look at their website, and the best we can find out there is February meeting minutes. Which
Really? Have you called them?
I've put a request in for a copy of that contract, but until I get it, I can't know the details other than what I learned watching and taping the meeting and what you can tell me.
Sure.
And of course, I'm very familiar with the ORC. I'm a former trustee, so I have read all the codes on it and everything. But that doesn't inform the public.
Sure. No, I understand. And you were the one that was taping?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. How does that tape get distributed to the public?
It's a private tape. It's not a government taping. If you want the official tape, you'd have to get the audio tape from the fiscal officer.
Oh, okay.
But I do put videos online occasionally. This is a story the residents need to know, because obviously the trustees on our behalf have contracted and told us what we're doing, basically. Of course, we have the option, so I'd like you to explain that option a little bit, because I understand that this option that they're giving us is either take it or leave it, and we can haul our own. So, those are the kind of details I want to see that are in the contract. What we have to do, how the building's handled, all that stuff.
Well, nobody has to do anything besides, if you do want curbside refuse service, the stipulation of the contract states that Big O is the exclusive hauler. And if you want to take yours to a business or a place of business or wherever you want to take it, you still have the opportunity to do that. It doesn't stipulate or mandate that you must have a service agreement or a contractual agreement with our company. Now, it does mandate, though, that Big O is the only hauler that is allowed on the township. And if you were at that meeting, which you stated you were, I tried to explain that the reason why we're allowed to, or the reason that allows us to offer a lower-priced service.
Sure, I understand how business works.
Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. It's because we have that.
I understand that. I'm in business myself.
Okay.
The only difference is, and no government entity is going to tell me that I'm exclusive and no one else can do my business in this area. Mm-hmm. There's a big difference there.
That's huge, Jeff. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you on that one.
I'm not here to argue. I'm looking for facts. So you did offer that contract to me. Could you mail me a copy?
I can have. Do you have a fax machine?
I do, but I don't think it works. It's kind of an outdated thing, unless you could, of course, email it to me. Sure.
Okay.
My email is jeff@corpenning.com. I'll have to spell that. That's my last name. It's CHOR, P as in pencil, ENNING. That'd be great, because that's really what I want, is the details and the facts of what we're being told we have to do and what options we do have, which are very limited.
Well, I tell you, one good thing that this did bring out, and I think since you were at that meeting, first of all, it was pretty disappointing to me, being an American citizen, if you will. Anytime that these decisions are made, there's a piece of me that says, the free enterprise system is being compromised. But as a business person, I can't allow that to let me walk away from my business. So I have to be competitive and present a bid. Now, it was disheartening, to say the least, to notice that no one else showed up for that bid opening.
Well, nobody.
I just don't
Are you talking
that.
about the public, or are you talking about your competition?
The competition.
Oh, I've talked to all of them.
And what was the reasoning?
Well, I've got videos up there of all my conversations, so you could,
So what was the reasoning of not talking with the competition, not submitting a bid?
Not aware of it. How did you become aware of it?
It was posted in the newspaper.
Okay. Apparently they didn't send any courtesy letters out. Obviously there's only so many people in that business. Me, if I was personally shopping around for my own, which this is for my own, really, but if I was doing it personally, I'd contact each one and say, look, I'm looking for a service. What do you provide and what are your details? But they didn't do that. They just put the legal ad in the paper, and whoever responded or was told it was there to respond are the only ones that would know. But certainly, when I get your email, I'll follow up. I'll send you some links, and you can hear what your competition has to say. So I've got those answers for you.
Okay, that'd be great. Well, I'll send this over to you here before the end of the day.
Okay. Well, I do want to know about commercial service.
Okay.
Well, obviously it's a non-issue with you because you're in the township, but probably these questions will be answered. I would assume the contract is quite detailed and...
Well, the commercial service is not included in this. This is only for residential.
Right, so I understand the contract would spell all that out?
Yeah, sure does.
Okay, because I understand that there are residents in Brownsville that go together as a group.
That's true. I just heard about that meeting.
Sure. The trustees are reporting at the meeting, they're calling that commercial. Now, how can you call it commercial when you have a group of residents going together and getting a dumpster? I guess, as far as the contract is concerned, how are you defining commercial?
Well, good question. That's a very good question, Jeff.
Because if that's an option, I may do it as well.
Sure, right. And the way the contract reads is it's an exclusive right to haul residential municipal solid waste. Now,
okay, well,
I have no knowledge of what that commercial dumpster is, and it's in a location that, or for instance, if there's somebody that has a farm out there, and there are a lot of areas where people have home businesses and farms, and if you've got an 8-yard box from Waste Management back there, then is a hobby farm considered commercial? No, not really. You're not making any money off of it, but you still have that option to opt out and go with the service from Waste Management for the 8-yard. Now, we hope that we'd be competitive in price, but there again, if that option, or if somebody was faced with that option, then they'd have that ability. Now, as far as residents going together to buy a box, that's something that unfortunately I don't really have any police power because I don't know about it. And
well, that's what they're doing in Brownsville. And of course, if it's your company, which it isn't right now, I don't know who it is, but it's not you. It's not a blue can. But they go together. They have, and Mr. Watkins, one of the trustees, at one of the meetings, he said this whole thing doesn't affect him because he's going to use that community dumpster. So, it's not commercial from my perspective. So that's why, are there definitions of commercial? When someone calls and orders commercial from you, if I'm a resident and I have a bunch of neighbors or whoever that want to help me pay that bill?
Well, what it would be is, first of all, we only do, if you called my office and said, I'd like to get a commercial container, it would be one location, and it'd be one bill. We don't do split billing. Now,
that's what they're doing.
Container, as long as you put in non-hazardous municipal solid waste, I'm not going to ask any questions because, quite frankly, it doesn't matter to me. All that matters to me is you're getting the correct level of service, you're being picked up on a weekly basis, then there's no billing issues.
So you having this exclusive, it doesn't bother you if people like Brownsville and maybe others purchase what you're calling it commercial, going together?
No, I'm not saying that doesn't bother me. I'm saying that I have no way of knowing that.
But it's not going to void your contract. In other words, they're going to be able to get away with it in Brownsville and not be able to. They're not going to be mandated like we have been.
Well, Jeff, I don't know. I mean, that you pose a question that.
I know what the trustees have told us at the meetings, but a lot of times the laws and the contracts don't match what they're saying.
Sure.
So that's, I'm looking for facts, and I don't know if that's going to be answered in your contract. Do you know if I'll get an answer there, or where will I get that answer?
As far as that commercial container goes?
Well, theirs or potential ones that others could do the same thing with.
Well, I'm looking through the contract now, and it just states residential pickup. Now, I guess I'm going to go back to the fact whereas if you would not have told me that this box is located there, how would I know this? And that's what I'm trying to.
Well, the trustees should be. Shouldn't the trustees be honest with you? Shouldn't the trustees be honest with you about that sort of thing?
Should the trustees?
I say, shouldn't the trustees be honest with you about that sort of thing?
In a perfect world, I like to say yes. I like to say any government official that's entering into a contract has got to be full disclosure. But yeah, that's
because it was discussed. Watkins talked about community dumpsters and this and that, and I know that you mentioned that you were including a dumpster for the community park. Is that also in the contract?
Yeah, that's pretty typical.
Okay. I wondered how it got in there. When you took your bid, did you call and ask about what kind of parks we have, or?
No, that's all. What happens is the trustees will put a RFP out, which is a request for proposal, and the haulers need to meet the request for proposal guidelines. It's mentioned in the RFP.
So you're saying that was in that bid package that you got?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yep.
See, we haven't been privy to see that. Of course, I have a record request in, but everything's after the fact at this point.
Well, who do you have a records request with?
Our township fiscal officer, yeah. But I appreciate that you're going to email it to me because I'll have it today and I won't have to wait.
When did you submit the request?
Well, actually, I asked for information, before you even came in there a couple months ago. My question was at public. It wasn't a formal request at that time. Was, are you going to share this contract with the public? Which up until now they have not. I made a phone call just within the last couple of days.